Hello, welcome to the Bigger Truth Media Podcast. I'm Scott McMahon, and today we are talking about Delegates for Trump. Delegates for Trump is a solution in Michigan that has been developed by a few different PACs that have come together. And so I've Shane Trejo and Alexa Otte and Meshawn Maddock is also going to join us. She's actually in court today. She is one of the persecuted alternate electors here that the Dana Nessel, the absolutely terrible attorney general, is persecuting. And so when she's getting a lunch break, and so she said she'd call in during the lunch break. So we'll add her in when she's here. So Shane and Alexa, let's just kind of get right into it. The problem that we've been seeing in Michigan and in other states is that we just don't have enough rational, engaged, positive, and hardworking delegates. And so and that seems to be what Delegates for Trump is working to address. So I'm going to let either of you start, and how you guys came together, what the whole origin of this idea was, and
yeah, I'll get started and first kind of talk about what organization I'm primarily affiliated with, and then I can let Alexa talk about what she's doing. So I'm Shane Trejo. I'm from the east side of the state, Detroit area. I'm the chairman of the Grand New Party PAC. So we exist to help conservative candidates, the conservative America First wing of the Republican Party. So serious candidates who are running, whether they're challenging incumbents who are, have voted for things like the Democrat communist budget or gun control, or actual rhinos who've betrayed the public trust. Whether they're running against them or whether they are, newly. They're in an open seat or something like that, but strong, proven, vetted conservatives who will move the ball forward and put forward, the message, in a way that is, respectable and, understandable and professional to the general public. So that's what I'm working on at the Grand New Party PAC. And Delegates for Trump was, a collaboration between many different groups that all kind of had the same idea. So why not let's come together and promote this and get Trump supporters out, enthusiastic Trump supporters out, and sign them up as delegates, and then get them volunteering and working for the cause of getting Trump elected, and of course all down ballot Republicans too. So my whole thing is there's going to be some level of contention among the different primary candidates. That can get a little bit heated, but let's get the strongest Republicans we can on the ballot in for the August primaries. Let's get the strongest conservatives that we can. If we don't get every conservative that we want, let's unify. Let's push the entire ticket over the finish line in November, and let's rally as many delegates to do that as possible. So making sure that this might be our last chance to save the state and salvage our country, so let's not blow it. And I think that's what Delegates for Trump is all about.
Awesome. Yeah, one of the things I love about it is that it's like on the job training. Like you're being thrown right into it, as a prospective delegate. So you're recruiting new delegates, and it's also a statewide effort. And then you're getting them right into knocking on doors and helping to get out the vote, and all, and it's on the job training. So Alexa, you're on the west side of the state, right?
I am. I'm part of Red Pilled Michigan. I'm one of the founders of this group. We're based in Grand Rapids, Kent County, but we're able to work throughout Michigan. So our goal is to get constitutionalists elected, and we help with that by planning awesome events and fundraisers. So we want to help candidates get across that finish line. And then our focus at this point right now is the delegates, helping with Delegates for Trump. And then we want to be able to help get school board members elected, because that's something that the bigger parties can't really get involved with. And one of, my partner, Holly, she is a school board member. And so we really want to help with that. She has grandkids, I have kids. So this is a very personal thing for us.
Mm-hmm. Great. And today's the filing deadline, isn't it?
not delegates, but for county, state, township.
And for school board too, or is that later too?
That's in July.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
2 weeks, we got 2 more weeks to recruit delegates. So I think we have over, a dozen more events that we're either doing ourselves or, combining with another group. I know that we're working with the Michigan Conservative Coalition PAC and the Brighter Michigan PAC on a lot of different events that we're doing up north to bring out some new people. We're going to have a presence at a homesteading expo on Saturday, and have several events. One in Manistee, one in Benzie, one in St. Ignace, one in Marquette, one in Traverse City. So we're really making the rounds up north to bring out some new people and make sure that they're getting engaged and getting signed up and willing to do the work, whether it's, up north. I'm not exactly sure how it works up there, hitting doors or making phone calls or doing mailers, whatever it is that reaches more voters up there. There's some winnable, state house seats up there that can be flipped. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And we just want to get people focused on doing productive things. Getting out of the circular firing squad, at least until after the election. Then there will be a time when we're going to choose who the new district chairs, county chairs, state party leaders, state committee. There's going to come a time where we're going to choose that through the regular process, and then that's the time to have the battles. But from now until the election, we just have to be focused on getting Republicans elected, starting with Trump on down. That has to be the sole focus, because if you look at what we're up against from the left, they have a political machine that's probably been more effective than any political machine in history. They know exactly what to do to turn out the vote, and they work together, even though they might not like each other. They have certainly some big internal disagreements there among the more corporatist faction of the Democrats and the more socialist faction. Not everyone's on the same page among the Democrats, but they realize that they need to do these certain things. They need to unify at certain points to crush the Republicans and then gain more power for themselves. And they do it well. So we are, always kind of, making it, we're always a few steps behind. But we do have enough. We have a leader in Trump, and we have enough people support behind us. We have the true majority, and we have to make sure that those people turn out. We have to hit them with absentee ballots. We have to make sure that all the conservative voters, whether they're more moderate or they're weaker, they don't really, they're disengaged. We have to make sure that they're on the absentee ballot list and that they vote early and that they're all those people show up this year. That's going to be, I think, the main task is driving absentee voter turnout. Because if you look at what happened just in the special elections a week ago, we won on election day. Yeah. So what? We doubled the margin on election day, but then we lost 10, 15 times over on absentee ballots or mail-in ballots. So we have to bridge that gap. We have to make sure that our people know that there is a way to submit your absentee ballot, go to the clerk, do early voting. There are ways that it can be done safely. You don't have to just put your ballot in the mail and hope and pray or throw it in a drop box. You can safely and securely turn in your ballot absentee to your clerk or for early voting. And we have to get all of our people to do that. That's, I think, priority number one to winning in November.
Great. Just a few people joining us live. We got Russ Jennings saying hi. Rayanne says, good afternoon, Shane, Alexa, Scott. Proud to be a part of Delegates for Trump. KP says up north is drive and knock, and probably a lot of driving. Just they're a lot more spread out up there. And I'm going to be up there in Sault Ste. Marie on Saturday also. And Friday night, I'm doing a kind of a forum with JD Glosser. And so we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. It'll be a Q&A kind of thing. So, I think, D1 is really important, and it's been oft neglected. So the deadline for filing as a delegate is May 7th. Is that correct?
Correct.
So so we've got about 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks from today, really. Is that right? Or
yeah, that's 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks from today. So, what can people do? If people who are listening, who might be delegates or aren't delegates, how can they, recruit more delegates and in their area or anywhere else in the state? And I know you guys are doing stuff with texting and you're making phone calls and door knocking. So what can people do now to help to recruit more delegates, and what's the pitch? I know that the pitch for those who have kind of that I've reported on quite a bit, that have gone in and supported Karamo, is all you gotta do is show up for 1 or 2 meetings and you'll save the state and nation for future generations. And that's the pitch. But the rational people, the people that know how the party works, they're not going to do that, because that's a lie. It's not just 1 or 2 meetings. It is a little bit more of a commitment. And we want to be honest about, we want people that are willing to commit, right? So what is the pitch? Why should someone become a delegate? And Alexa, if you want to kind of.
Sure. So in 2022, I was one of the 1 to 2 meetings a year sign-uppers. So I am a current precinct delegate. And that was the pitch. It was, you just come to these meetings, just a county meeting and a state meeting if you get elevated, and you'll vote and it'll be great. And you're going to save America. We're going to have this giant red wave. Well, that didn't happen. So the delegates were the backbone of the party. And by engaging our neighbors and our family and our friends and getting people involved, we can make a difference, but you have to put the time in. So the nice thing about all of this, the Delegates for Trump website's really great. And we're not just signing people up just to be like, okay, now you're part of it, and they don't know what to do. There's a really good training, a lot of great information on the website. So I had some people at the event last night in Plainwell that were unsure about signing up, if they could do the time commitment and things. But we got them signed up for the email, and I'm like, check out the website. You'll get more information on that. And at least if they don't want to be a delegate or don't feel that that's the place for them, they'll volunteer maybe and go door knocking with us, or phone calls, mailers, that kind of a thing.
Good.
And I'll kind of what we've done for our events on more on the east side is we will get a person up there who is a new delegate. We've had Todd Gilman from D5 speak at several of our things, and his story is, this isn't my first term as a delegate. I signed up for the first time less than 2 years ago, and I'm already going to Milwaukee to represent for Trump, to make history, to put him on the ballot and be a part of that. So just by getting involved and being active and doing what you're supposed to do, hitting doors and meeting people and going to meetings and becoming more involved, you can have a position of authority within the party. You can have responsibility. You can help make history. You can help do the right thing. So it's not just you're a cog in a machine. You get involved and you're a leader. You can be a leader almost immediately. And then there's all these other people who get involved, and they're a precinct delegate, and they're like, well, you know what? I've looked, I've gone to these township board meetings, or I've gone to these county meetings. I can do this. It's not, it's not as hard as they make it out to be. Then they get involved. They become a county commissioner. They become a precinct leader, and then they from there they will run for different levels of office, and they might be able to get to Lansing. They'll become a state lawmaker, and they have the core of support around them as precinct delegates. They get support of other precinct delegates, and those are their boots on the ground who are doing all the work that they need to overcome money disadvantages or other obstacles that stand in their way. So that's the kind of the hopefulness of it. And I'm honest with them. I'm like, the bare minimum is you maybe come to 5-6 meetings a year that are local, and you vote on who the different, make an informed choice on who the leadership should be in the county. That's kind of the bare minimum, but you're also expected to knock doors and talk to your community and outreach to people as well, and help the cause as much as you can for various elections. So that's the bare minimum. But then as you get more involved and you want to really become a leader, like many of us are, the commitment will ramp up from there. But it is a responsibility, but it is, it's not something that, there are no commitments per se on what you need to do to be a delegate, but there are some reasonable expectations on coming to the county meetings and then being a part of the team and volunteering when it comes election time to help us win these elections. And whether it's the midterms or November, or if it's a special election or stuff like that, we do expect you to outreach to people and help the team win in these elections.
Yeah. And Randy Guppy says, same here. First time delegate, headed to Milwaukee. We need people that'll get fully involved. And that fully involved, it's not like you're committing to 10, 20, 30, 40 hours a week. I mean, it's not a fixed time commitment kind of involvement. It's more of a, I'm going to be available, and I'm going to look for opportunities to use whatever my skill set is to help Republicans get elected, and to help, ensure that, this Democrat takeover that we've seen advance, that we can stop that and reverse it, and preserve our freedoms. So, and that's the reason why I think the message that has been advanced about, become a delegate, has been so successful, because, people want to get involved to help save this country and to make things better for the next generation, for our kids and grandkids. And that commitment is one not just of showing up to a meeting and voting the way we're told to vote. It's a commitment of thinking really clearly. And the one of the things about the party that I've seen is that often it's hard work, because there's rarely complete agreement on anything within the party, and so you've got to be really thoughtful and rational. And there's a lot of debate, just like the founding fathers. There was so much debate. So I'd like to know, like, what if say I've got a friend that wants to get involved and they don't really know how would they get involved with Delegates for Trump? Who would they call or email, or how do they do that? And then what could they expect as far as would they be contacted? Is there like a orientation process, or is there how do they get involved, and what would be their next steps?
Well, just go on the website. We have contact forms on there, so you can fill out a contact form. We'll get you in the system. Within a week, we'll send you an orientation email where it's like, oh, here are all the things that you could help us with, and if you want to get more involved, do that, or you can just come to an event. We are having events pretty much all throughout the entire state right now. So I think we have some on the east side yet to come, several on the west side, a bunch of them up north. So if you're and then there are other groups that are having similar drives. So if we're not having one in your area, we can ask someone if there's an event that you could come to we might not necessarily have a presence at, but you can get signed up and you can talk to leaders there. So we'll do our best to get you, where you need to go in terms of being able to get involved as a delegate. And then after, we're definitely going to stay in touch with delegates and do what we can to have, more formal trainings where, if they want to ask questions, if they want to get more involved, if they want to understand what it means to be a delegate, we're going to be there to help them along and make sure that, they can make informed decisions on, who leadership will be in the future. So we don't want, delegates who can get, corralled by, self-serving people for different weird agendas. We want delegates to be informed, understand what their rights are, understand, the what the party is meant to do, and figure out, for themselves who the best leaders should be. Leaders that can, fundraise and do the jobs that's necessary to keep the party afloat. So we want to have delegates who can make informed decisions, and teach delegates to be, free thinkers, and, not fall into this kind of, soldier-like mentality where you're just following orders from whoever you're told is the leader. We want people to make informed decisions and be leaders for themselves, and look at, put their egos aside and look at the overall goal. It is getting Republicans elected and working through the process to get the most conservative Republicans who can win into, positions where they're going to be elected. Mm-hmm. So those are the two things that we have to keep our eyes on as the focal point and the goal. Not whatever, weird self-serving agendas that are coming up from other people.
That's right. That's right. Randy Guppy says the excuse often is that they don't have time. I say it is necessary to make time. Our state and union is at stake. And I'd agree with that for sure. I mean, if and you guys obviously do, because you're doing that. And so we've got stories of three, Alexa and Randy, and you mentioned who did you mention? It wasn't Todd Gilman. And Todd was actually on the state budget committee, right?
Still is.
Yeah, and then he was removed, and now he's back on under Hoekstra, and so yeah, that's it, and because he had the talent to do that, he had the interest and the ability to do that, so he was brought on board, and there's really unlimited opportunity to get involved, and there's no shortage of need for workers of, whether it's stuffing envelopes or making phone calls or knocking on doors, or if you're more of an accountant type, being on a budget committee and helping. I know that there's a lot of need right now in helping with even forensics, and so there's there is no shortage of need. And I think that the party now, it's easier to get involved with the party than it's probably maybe ever been, because there's such a great need, and they really do want people to get involved. So is that something you could speak to more, Alexa?
Yeah, a lot of people were burned out after 2022. So we're trying to get some people back in that maybe stepped aside, or there's a lot of new people that are being awakened by what's going on. It's clicking that I don't want to pay $4 for gas. These groceries, I have kids that are getting older, they're eating a lot more, so groceries are really expensive. So all of these things are starting to wake people up. And so there's so many different groups out there now. So Delegates for Trump, GMP, Red Pill, Brighter Michigan, so many different teams out there that are working towards bettering the future. So people can get behind one of these teams or join one of these teams. There's your county parties, depending on what's going on there, or even finding just a candidate that you really resonate with and you stand with their message. All the candidates that are running, I mean, there's so many spots. Township has at least 4 different positions in every township that's coming up. County commissions, there's upwards of, I don't know, some of the small counties, I'm not sure, but Kent County, we have 21. So there's so many different positions that people need help, and we need boots on the ground. Maybe you're really good at proofreading. We all need help with our emails that get sent out and websites, or you're a tech person. Website help is amazing, would be amazing. So there's so many different ways for people to get involved and help, and we all welcome that greatly.
Yep. Randy just texted me the list of events, so I'm just going to I don't have the ability to quickly get it on the screen, so I'm just going to put it up, and it'll be and I'll post it up on Twitter also. So let's see, so today's the 23rd, so tomorrow you guys are going to be in Gaylord, and then Thursday in St. Ignace, Friday in Marquette. I'm just going to read off the next week, because there's a lot of events here. Is it delegatesfortrump.com or what's the website?
Delegates4Trump.com.
Delegates4Trump.com. And so you can see the whole schedule there. Saturday, the Homesteading Expo in Sault Ste. Marie, and then also in Traverse City on the same day. So that's just in the next few days. But there's the other areas. We got Lake Orion, Manistee, Benzonia, Howell, Walker, Saranac, Newego. Those are just the ones that are scheduled just in the next week and a half. So it's probably coming within a short drive of you sometime in the very near future. And they mostly have free food too, right? I mean, I think, is Brighter Future Pack working with that too? Eric Casigli's group.
I know Brighter's working specifically on the Northern Michigan tour. So,
okay, great.
They're really helping to promote those events very well. So
yeah.
I'm expecting, unfortunately I can't make it to any of those, but I'm expecting those to be really good.
Great. Miguel says the time is now to get involved. Yeah, thank you. And Rayanne says, been on the sidelines and working with Red Pilled Michigan, excited to be on the ballot in August to become a delegate. Excellent. Good work. Thank you, Rayanne, for doing that. I'm actually going to be filing today. I'm going to be running for county commissioner. So
awesome.
Just so yeah, and there's there's no shortage of need everywhere, and it's just a great time to get involved. And I know that a lot of people have been discouraged because of the drama that has been really intentionally created, and that's one thing that Delegates for Trump, I think, is a good opportunity to just get in there and do Republican things. I mean, there's no reason to argue over anything. You're just getting in there and getting involved. And so there's no power structure. It's in cooperation with the party, but it's not a part of the party. So there's really no politics involved. It's just getting out there and pitching in. So, and thank you.
We have notaries at the events too, so the people can sign up. We notarize it, and we do a lot of the legwork for them.
Yeah, that's great. Perfect. Yeah, so I was going to ask that too. So yeah, all you have to do is show up. If you want to be a delegate, you have 2 weeks now. So in the next 2 weeks, there's probably going to be an event just about every day, except for Sundays probably, and so yeah, show up and you can be a delegate. It's not hard. You just go to your county clerk's office and you can fill out the form. They'll help you. They make it easy. It's a low fee, or you can get some signatures to avoid the fee. So yeah, it's a good thing to do. So Russ says, I filed to run for township trustee. Excellent. I figured I'd put more on my plate. Yeah, didn't have enough on your plate, right? And Randy Guppy says, my wife and I filed for precinct delegate again yesterday. So that's excellent. So any other, unfortunately we missed Meshawn, but Shane, I'll let you go first. Do you have any other parting words, and how can people get in touch with you?
Oh yeah, check out Delegates 4Trump.com. Reach out on the contact form there. We'll get you going in the system. We'll get you going toward productive things that you can do to help the cause along. Another thing that we did at yesterday's event, where it was packed to the gills in New Hudson. Our most successful event yet is we had the woman from the RNC, the election integrity team, Morgan Ray, signing people up to be poll workers. So paid opportunity to help supervise the process and do everything that you can in a practical manner to root out fraud as it's going down in these different especially particularly these absentee vote counting centers on election day. So that sort of stuff is needed. You'll get paid for it, and you can make a big impact there. So from becoming a delegate to working to make sure that the vote turnout is what it is, where we get people voting early, we get people, we make sure that every conservative fills out their ballot, and then working the process on election day or around election day, you can make a massive impact in saving Michigan and saving the country. So get involved, be encouraged. Don't let people discourage you. So many solid conservatives have been alienated and with people attempting to drive them from the process. We have to fight back against that. We have to make sure that every conservative is involved, is engaged, is working toward getting Trump elected and getting Republicans elected in November. It can be done. We can't be discouraged. We can't accept defeatism. We have to be optimistic. And we have to do everything that we can in our power to make sure that Trump wins and the Republicans win in November. And also, one more plug, go to gnppac.com, brand new party pack. If you want to find out what conservatives that you need to support heading into the primary to make sure that as many strong conservatives get on the ballot as possible. We just endorsed and gave a nice $500 check to Adam Stockford, who's running in Hillsdale and Branch County right now. He's the mayor of Hillsdale, has a very strong conservative record, proven, vetted, has been, involved in, local politics and really done what's right by the people and rejected the COVID mandate. So he's a guy with a pedigree, with a track record, who does a lot of, who already has shown that he can, stand strong against the pressure, and he'll do the same when he's elected to the state house as well. So we're supporting Adam Stockford. We'll be supporting other candidates too in the days to come. So check out Brand New Party PAC, gnppac.com. Look for our endorsements and look for who we're getting behind at not just the state house levels, but the county commission and school board levels as well.
And, I think one of the things that I found, because, I came into this really as an outsider, as a journalist, just trying to understand what was going on within the party. And one of the things I found is that the people within the party are some of the best informed people, certainly in the state, about, what's happening, not just within the party, but what's happening in the bigger picture. And so it's a really great, that's just an additional benefit is, gaining a better understanding of how politics really works and how the party works. And because our government is always going to be a two-party system, and we want it to be that way. We don't want a one-party state. And and there's just the way that it's structured, it's not realistic that it'll ever be, that third parties will ever really have a strong influence. But yeah, so the Republican Party is important, and and it needs to be a grassroots thing, and it needs to be something that really respects freedom of speech and doesn't silence anyone, and allows everyone to be heard and allows the best ideas to rise to the top. So, Alexa, if you want to kind of plug Red Pilled and
Sure.
Any other parting thoughts on how to get a hold of you.
So playing off of a couple of things that both of you just spoke, election inspecting is very important with these 9 days of early voting that we have. I've been an election inspector for the last couple of years, and I've already gotten the email from the city wanting to know which days and times I'm available for the pre-counting and pre-election stuff. So all these bigger cities and townships and things where you have a high enough population to have the early voting, they need people. And each of those days, we need poll challengers too for those days. So if there's 5 different sites out there doing early voting in your area, those are 5 different sites that also need poll inspector or election inspectors and poll watchers for those days. And then one of the other things is a lot of people don't seem to realize the difference between a republic, a constitutional republic, and a democracy. You hear, oh, we need to save democracy. Well, we're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic where we have laws. We follow these laws. We follow these rules. A democracy is just 50% plus 1. I'm going to take your bike because I want it. And I have 3 friends here saying that they want it too. So we need to save the republic. And by working all together on this, we can do it. So redpilledmichigan.org, redpilledmi.org, that's our website. We have a couple events coming up this summer, and we want to help other candidates get elected. We want to boost the Republican Party, get Michigan red, and just to help people get involved as little or as much as they can to do that. So we're here. We have a contact page as well, and people can check out our previous events that we've had and see what kind of help we can give to people running for office.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you guys both for coming. And again, it's delegates Trump.com, delegates 4Trump.com. One more time, delegates 4Trump.com. Go check it out and get involved and have fun doing it. I mean, it's Rand says we had fun in Plainwell, and every Republican event that I've been to has been fun. Like it is actually, people get together, they want to help each other out, they want to get to know each other, and it's just, you get to meet people from different walks of life and all over the state that really just want to make things better for all of us. So and they may have different ways of going about it, but that's part of what the Republican Party is about too. We're not like the Democrats where everybody.
We lose Scott.
I know. I was like, is it just me?
Uh-oh. Well, to finish Scott's thought, yes, get involved, and hopefully we'll see you guys at the next Delegates for Trump event.
Check out the website. The whole list of what's coming up is right there. Some